The number one cause for small businesses to fail here in the US is cash flow. And when you're starting, cash flow sounds like something that your accountant should know, and sounds kind of boring, but it's very simple to understand, and it's very simple to understand why small businesses fail. I'm gonna give you two real cases, and you will see why they fail. So I had one of my clients, and we were trying to fix his business, and he was not making enough money. He was working a lot. He was producing um, custom instruments, specifically guitars and basses, which require a lot of manufacturing, different materials, vendors, a long time to make them, complaining clients, a lot of things. And he was not doing great, and I thought, but the amount of pieces that he was selling, he should be doing great. When the conversation started about cost, he said, I have a pretty good idea about my costs. I don't think the problem's there. But he was constantly running out of cash. So I said, listen, I think we should go through the numbers, create a database and all of that. And I got stopped and he said, let's not overthink it. And I was like, I think you need it. And he allowed me to do this, of course. And he was selling close to 14 models of musical instruments. 7 of those, after I crunched the numbers, were actually losing money. And I explained, if you think your costs were this, your cost per instrument is this. And he puzzled, and that's exactly the moment I knew why small businesses they always run out of cash, which is the money that you need not by the end of the month, but weekly, daily to operate. Let me explain. Reason number one, that false sense of humility. What do I mean by that? Most business owners, in manufacturing or not, they will not pay themselves a salary. I get it. I was a business owner myself. I was in manufacturing, doing electronics and a bunch of things, and I never had a salary. But that's kind of lying to yourself, because if you cannot even make a salary, if your company cannot even make a salary for the owner, in the long run, it'll create problems like undercalculation of the cost. And I get it. You have like 1 year that is not going to be profitable, maybe 2. That's totally normal, but that doesn't mean that you don't have to pay yourself. That's a totally different story. And the other reason is, most business owners, when it comes to money, they think about the end of the month. For some reason, we have that thing. By the end of the month, how much money we have in our account. If we have some money extra, we're making money. No problem, right? But what about the rest of the weeks? Let's say on week 1 you started and you ran out of money to buy the parts for that very same thing that you're manufacturing. That is cash flow. The amount of money you need to work every day to turn on the lights, right? So whenever you undercalculate things, let's say you don't pay a salary for yourself, or you have a few helpers and just give them a few hours, your costs seem very low. But when you really want to hire somebody, and when you need to pay yourself because you need to pay your bills and everything, then you calculate your real cost, and boom, the cost, meaning that maybe your price will be too low to make any money. In the case that I was telling you about, we didn't even calculate the amount of salary that this guy should be paid. I just made a database of all of the things that he was putting in these instruments, meaning the materials, but he failed to put into account the shipping of those parts to get to his office, the taxes, and a lot of basic things that were part of the production, but he didn't account them. He had, just like he said, a pretty good idea, but he wasn't precise. This is the case. He was making 7 instruments, right, that were underperforming, meaning that they weren't red numbers. Can you imagine if for that month or 2 months he sold just those 7 models? He was working for free and actually making money, losing money, meaning that the customers were getting a lot of value and he was kind of giving away value, and that's not the what you should happen. So I can help you with this. I can make another video and I will go through the numbers, but don't ever discount your salary from the cost. That's basically labor. If you undercalculate labor, yeah, sure, your costs for your products will be really low and you think you'll be competitive, but you will not be competitive. And don't think about the end of the month. Calculate the money that you need weekly, even daily, right? If you run a coffee shop, I know people that are very successful, they need to make purchases sometimes daily. So they need to have a budget for every day that they work. That is cash flow. Again, most business owners will wait until the end of the month. If they have some money in their account, we're fine. They buy things, supplies, but they will run out of that cash in a few days after the end of the month. And that's the reason number one why small businesses fail. Cash flow. Not because the ideas it's dumb, not because they're dumb. It's just because they run out of cash to operate day by day. I know what you're thinking. Well, if we are making money by the end of the month, we should be okay. It might be, but what if you need to loan money or borrow money when you run out of money that second week? Okay, you borrow money and then you have to return it, sometimes with interest, sometimes not. All of those little things create a compound effect that will give you a lot of troubles in your daily, day-to-day operations, and I've seen it so many times. The other story that I had is another business that I'm currently working with, and for years I struggled. You should make a calendar for your cash flow. Everything that that's coming in, everything that is coming out, we should have it visually in a calendar so we can make decisions. And sometimes people think that more sales will be basically the solution for this. So when a person like an accountant like me that I work for with solo entrepreneurs offer a solution that is not more sales, they disregard it very quickly and they say, no, we need to bring somebody else that can make us sell more. What happens with that? When you sell more and you're not used to have a clear understanding of your cash flow, you will spend more, meaning that your cash flow problems will just grow. And I've seen this so many times, especially when the growth of sales is just an event, maybe by the end of the year, Black Friday, tax season, and you sell a lot of things and you think, wow, I am a genius, this is going to continue forever, and you spend more money, buy more tools, whatever, and that money quickly disappears and we're back in the same thing. So I know the cash flow is a kind of a boring concept, it's kind of accounted kind of terminology, but you need to manage it daily, weekly, and monthly, and of course by the end of the year. So don't ever discount your salary. Don't think that you should just pay attention after 30 days. And don't think that more sales will create a solution to all of this. Sometimes more sales create even more problems because you don't have the habits to manage more money. So I'm gonna give you, for my next video, I'm gonna give you an example with my spreadsheets and step by step of the things that you need to pay attention in order not to run out of cash in your business.